So today we are apparently going to talk about learning and thinking, and to be a little bit more precise, it's going to be a book. It's a book notes article by the netaliation.com site. The link is as always going to be down in the description, but it is about pragmatic thinking and learning. I don't know what pragmatic thinking and learning is. We're going to see. It apparently is on one hand a really good book, on the other hand something in between good and not good. But more on that after the intro, as always. And I, by the way, hope that the echo isn't too bad because I just haven't soundproofed things. Maybe I should. I'm just gonna do it in this way. I hope that it is not that bad. It probably is really bad, so I'm actually quite sorry for that. Anyway, we're gonna see. So I'm first of all gonna show you nothing. Yes, apparently, but we're gonna just have a look at it. And we'll see, maybe it's actually a pretty good book, because the thing is, on the NetAliation side, it got rated 9 out of 10. And then I thought, just because I've seen the book, like, I know this book, but I don't know where I know it from. And then I thought, well, it's probably from the civils.org site, and it is actually also on the civils.org site, which means that we're probably going to go through both of them. But the point is, it is only rated 5 out of 10, which I think is a pretty good example for knowing and I don't know, just understanding that those ratings are really subjective. Of course, it just makes sense. It is subjective. And some people like some books and some people don't like some books. And there is no reason for me, on one hand, on the other hand, for everybody else as well, to just not go through a book that is rated relatively low. Because, I don't know, I might just still find it pretty good or like it, even though reviewers say it is not good. And I also just not really kind of now about book summaries, but I think in general about books. There is going to be a book that is better, there's going to be a book that is not so good, and I don't know, let's just view it like that, they like it, but this doesn't really mean if I just like it or not, it doesn't just say just because somebody else does not like it that I'm also not gonna like it. If this makes some sense right now. So, Pragmatic Thinking and Learning by Andy Hunt. Probably the best non-charlatanic book on improving your thinking that I've ever found. I only wish I would found it sooner, or I had found it sooner. Summary notes. This is a book about changing how you think and learn. It is excellent and over-delivers on that promise. Here I'll try to clarify some of the most important pieces. There is also some recipes that the author supplies, which I'll list up here. Recipes. I'm just really bothered by the echo, so I'm gonna do something against that. And I hope that this alone is actually making it a bit better. Yes, it does. It actually does. You don't need that much, but just one blanket, one thing, one towel, one whatever is doing a pretty great job. And also not having it very clean on your desk, pretty good, Fortunately, my desk is not really clean. It's just, this looks strange. It really does. So I don't know where it are coming from. This is the problem. I don't know what is this? Oh, I see. So yeah, anyway, let's have a look. Recipes. Always consider the context. Everything is a part of a system, and you can get into trouble by only considering things in isolation, which is a pretty huge thing, as I've also seen while learning. Use rules for novices, intuition for experts. This one is for the core principles of the Dreyfus skill model. And this book apparently is written by a programmer, so it might be pretty applicable to people that are programming. But I think that it is still applicable to quite everyone, so we will see. Know what you don't know, be humble about your understanding, and assume you don't have a complete understanding or the full picture. This is, by the way, also something that somebody else said. Somebody that is really accomplished and successful, saying I'm pretty humble with how I just deal with my knowledge and stuff like that. And I also feel that, and this is actually something that I naturally default into, which is not always a good thing, because I don't know, saying that you do not just want to be that you do actually want to be humble with your thinking and doubting yourself is quite close to each other. I have to say, there's a fine border between those two things, and this is something that I am not necessarily concerned about, but I have to think about it, because well, maybe, I think it just really comes up. If you just, well, yeah, it really comes up. So I'm not quite sure about this thought there. So yeah, learn by watching and imitating and not by being lectured at. Yes, this is a really fucking important part for me, because I have seen that if I just do this shit, then I'm just learning it way fucking better than if someone just tells me some shit. I think it also depends on the lecture itself and the lecturer. If he or she is just doing a great job, if he or she is just not doing a great job, and just all different sorts of things. It just really is also a huge part of that. And I don't know, like, I mean, it just also depends on the subject. I mean, if it is a subject that you really like, then you're probably also going to be really, really knowledgeable in it, or at least more knowledgeable, or you understand it just a bit better than anybody else. On the other hand, it is also going to be the case that you are just, maybe you're just drawing more attention to the lecture, in terms of like, you're not going to do something else besides that. You're going to sit in the lecture room and you're going to listen to your professor or to whomever, and that's it. And you're not going to do anything else, which is a pretty huge part, because if you just do something else and you're constantly kind of distracted, then you're probably not going to be able to follow everything really well. But if you can, then it is kind of as you would actually be doing it yourself, because you have to think. And when you start thinking, it's a good sign, I think, my opinion. Keep practicing in order to remain an expert. Avoid formal methods if you need creativity, intuition, or inventiveness. Learn the skill of learning, which is pretty meta there. Capture all of your ideas, such as in a notebook, to get more out of them. Strive for good design. It really works better. The more sense you engage in a task, the more involved and focused your brain will be. Fiddling, music, walking, etc. Yes, of course. This is also one of the reasons why I like to write down things. When I'm learning something, and which is basically about memorizing stuff, then writing down everything is quite a good idea, and can really just improve your ability to memorize more and memorize it for longer times, actually. Yes. Step away from the keyboard from time to time to solve hard problems. You need the space to let your background process figure out the problems you are encountering. Change your viewpoint to solve the problem, look at it in reverse, exaggerate it to the extreme, and change your point of reference. Watch for outliers. Rarely doesn't mean never. Be comfortable with uncertainty. Trust ink over memory. Every mental read is a right. Which I think is kind of the thing that I thought or said just before, isn't it? But writing for me just really works well. Reading something and also reading something aloud so that you also hear yourself again. And then also writing it, which is kind of using three senses, isn't it? You're talking, is it a sense? But you're seeing things. Well, there's actually a lot of movement in the whole thing. You're speaking, you're listening, you're writing, and you're reading. Yeah. And you're also having the emotion of just the writing part itself. And just, it's pretty good, at least at my point of view. Hedge your bets with diversity. Allow different bugs in different people. Act like you have evolved. Breathe and don't hiss. Trust intuition, but verify. Create smart objectives to reach your goal, which is... we have done it in school in marketing, actually. I don't know. It should be at least, you need a deadline. You need, I think, a result or something. Well, let's actually look that up. Fucking shit, you motherfucker. Smart goals. Smart goals. What are the 5 smart goals? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Yes, this is what it is. Plan your investment in learning deliberately and developing your mind. Discover how you learn best. It might not be like other people, which is a huge important fucking point. I actually wanted to make the other video about learning per se, but I don't know if I should just do it in this video. But then I don't have the other video, which is not good. But yeah, anyway. From study groups to learn and teach. Okay, read deliberately and to learn better. See it, do it, and teach it. Play more in order to learn more. Learn from similarities and unlearn from differences. Explore, invent, and apply in your environment safely. See without judging and then act. Give yourself permission to fail. It is a path to success. Groove your mind for success through envisioning it. Learn to pay attention. Make thinking time. Use a personal wiki to organize your knowledge and learning. Establish rules of engagement to manage interruptions. Send less email and you'll receive less. Good idea. Quite. Just do less of it and then you'll get also less of it, which is, I think, also the case with just love. If you don't send a lot of love, then you're probably not gonna get a lot of love. So, make thinking time. I've already covered that. Choose your own tempo for an email conversation. You can slow it down. Hide interruptions to maintain focus. Use multiple monitors to avoid context switching. Optimize your personal workflow to maximize context. And grab the wheel. You can't steer on autopilot. Other notes. You can't just rely on a good teacher. A teacher doesn't just teach. A student must also do the learning, and you must know how to learn efficiently and also effectively. A lot of the book focuses on Dreyfus model of skill acquisition. I enjoyed that so much that I dedicated a whole article to it, which you can read here. So maybe I'm also going to have to go through that one, but we'll see. The book also focuses a lot on deliberate practice. I have a big guide to that, to which will be more helpful than re-summarize his notes here. Cubicles cure neurons. Part of why we thought you couldn't grow new neurons is that the people being studied were in dull environments. But if you are in an exciting environment where you're thriving, neuron growth is quite natural. Uncorrect problems that you're aware of only get it worse. Fix them as soon as possible. Yes, definitely. Just don't be like, well, I'm gonna fix it later. Just fix it right now. It's just way better. Questions to ask yourself to challenge your intuition. How do you know? Says who? How specifically? How does what I'm doing calls you to? Compared to what or whom? Does it always happen? Can you think of an exception? What would happen if I did or didn't? And what stops you from X, Y, and Z? And I basically like what would happen if, and it is something just because I am having to learn maths. It is something that I do just basically every single day. If I just kind of have figured out something, then I just try to see what happens if. What happens if I just change this parameter? What happens if I just do this and that and these and those? And it is also pretty helpful if you're just having something like a graphical interface. I don't know, Wolfram Alpha. There is, for example, when it is just about mathematics, then there is GeoGebra that could also be using, which is, I think, way better than just calculating things and then seeing, oh, yeah, okay, this number changed. I don't know. Like, I don't like it that much. I just like to see things, and which is also one of the reasons, just because we are allowed to use the computer in the exam that I'm going to have next week. Actually, in a week, quite. It's not that much time left, but I'm quite fine with it. It is what it is. Anyway, I just like it way more if I can see what is actually happening. And even if it is a calculation, then I just also like to just have it on the screen and see, okay, and also be way faster than if I would just be just doing some shit with hand and stuff. What stops you from? The planning is more important than the plan. Just because your plan is likely to change doesn't mean planning isn't valuable. Use the SQ3R method to make reading more effective. Survey, scan a table of contents and chapter summaries for an overview. Question, note any questions you have. Read its entirety. Recite, summarize, take notes, and put it in your own words. And the last one is review, reread, expand notes, and discuss with colleagues. Which, by the way, I think is a pretty good thing or good idea to just discuss things with a colleague, because it leads you to really deal with the subject, and it really leads you to having to think about it and talk about it and see other people's points of view, which is just an amazing thing. I do in general believe that if you surround yourself with the subject that you have to learn, then it is just gonna be the optimal thing. For example, for me, learning English per se meant having every single fucking device in English, for example, and it really helps because you're just surrounding yourself with the language, and you're surrounding yourself with the thing that you want to learn, and also with the things that you're consuming. I'm not consuming a lot of German stuff, even though I'm from Austria. But on the other hand, I really should, because my German is fucking awful. It really is. And at this point of time, I feel like that just because I have been at home for 2 months, quite a little bit more the next week, in total, I've not read anything in German. Quite, and just besides the things that I had to learn for other subjects and stuff. But most of my day is just consisting of doing something in English and just reading through something in English. And I thought, well, maybe I have to change that up. Maybe, just maybe, I should just take some time and do something against it, which I think I'm going to start today. The problem is, it's probably going to be another half an hour or something of me just, I don't know, doing some shit that I just really don't enjoy that much on one hand. On the other hand, it is like I could do something better in that time. On the third hand, I'm wasting just such a lot of time each and every fucking day, which is a fucking pain in the ass. Also today, this is also why I'm starting just the recording right now. It is not that late, but I really wanna get further. I just feel like that I don't know. It's just a really big fucking waste of time. It's sometimes, on some days, and some things, and it pisses me off. Anyway, I shouldn't complain, but I should really be doing something about that. The rule of 3. If you can't think of 3 ways a plan can go wrong or 3 different solutions to a problem, then you haven't thought about it hard enough. I've actually been expecting like, okay, then, whatever you're doing is quite okay and it's probably going to be fine. But no, it's like you haven't done shit and it's actually pretty bad what you're doing and all sorts of things. So, but I think it's a pretty interesting book. I don't know what the other episode is going to be. I don't know if it is also going to be about learning because I don't know. Like it just or should I just start with, just because I see that I'm having quite some time left. The diffuse model, unknown protocol. Opera was unable to. Okay, strange thing. Fucking strange thing. Unknown protocol. Opera was unable to open this link since no application associated with blah 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 was found on your system. It is a little bit strange, I have to say, but this one is working. I wonder how to use deliberate practice to reach the top 1% of your field, which I think per se, like maybe not, maybe it's just not important. But by the way, I could actually go through an article of him. Maybe I can find a great article, because why not? College after COVID, how to get the best of both worlds. Old business, new tricks. If you can come up with a clever tweak to make customers happier or more successful, you could have a huge business in your hands. 5 lessons from year 27. Today's my 27th birthday, and here's a few things I've learned this past year, which could actually be quite interesting. I don't know. But yeah, I think I'm going to see in the next episode, and we're also going to see in the next episode. So, yes, the question of today is, what could you make, what could you change, what could you create to really make somebody's life better? Yes. And with that being said, I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and basically means just being a nice person, and then also being remembered as a nice person, which is a pretty huge and important thing, at least for me. Yes. I'm going to hopefully see you the next time. And 3 other questions that I'm having for you are, why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, because this is amazing. The purpose per se is amazing. But yeah, we're going to see. And then have a good day. Stay healthy. I wish you the best. Bye-bye. Yes. And now I don't know. Should I eat something? Because I haven't eaten something in like quite some time. Like 17 hours or something. So it's not that bad. I've actually also been on 22 hours without eating anything and still working out and doing stuff. But yeah. Anyway, I wish you the best. Please stay healthy, and we're gonna see. Bye bye.